What's going on, guys? Long time no see, right? And yes, this is my Queen poster that you're looking at. I love Queen, you all know that. Anyway, so today I'm going to be doing a podcast and I'm going to be interviewing my mentor. He's someone that holds a very special place in my heart and means a lot to me. He's an electrician, and today you're going to learn about what he does and, how his job works and the responsibilities of his job and basically, how the electrical and fire alarm industry really works. So, I'm going to introduce him to you. Here we go. Alright, guys, so right here I have basically Larry sitting on one of my demonstration systems that I do for testing. So, without any further ado, Larry, the floor is yours. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Dave.
Hey.
As you mentioned a little while ago, I am an electrician licensed in Massachusetts since 2000. I am licensed in all the areas of the electrical trade. However, my specialty is actually fire alarm systems. I hold factory certification from Potter, Silent Night, NAPCO, and Mercom's FX350 line. And I am also a Potter distributor.
So, can you explain to the crowd what exactly is those are all different fire alarm companies, right?
Yes, those are all different brands of systems.
And you're a distributor, so you sell products?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what led you into the fire alarm industry and the electrical industry?
Well, that started off a long time ago, back when I was a kid, actually. My mom had periodically dated somebody who actually became a mentor to me. He actually worked doing a lot of security alarm system work. And he taught me a lot of stuff on how those things work. And then later on, my interest when I got into secondary school shifted it to fire alarm systems and how these things work. Now, it kind of sounds contradictory because from the third grade on, every time there were fire drills in school, I was petrified of them.
Yeah, same here.
And now, go figure, I work with those systems for a living.
Right.
Kind of ironic that actually led to it, but then when I was in my senior year in high school, I didn't really enter the trade right away. I worked for 5 years at a plastic manufacturing factory that was in the town that I grew up in, and then after they had a mass layoff, I got an approval from a couple of programs that I was referred to as, since it was a mass layoff, I got referred to a couple of assistance programs. One of them actually secured funding for me to go back to school.
To trade school?
And through exploring different options, at first I wanted to go to a school that actually taught specifically alarm systems himself, and then that's when I also learned that Massachusetts had implemented the Class D system technician license for those who just do alarm work. And the school, however, was too new to secure funding through the source I was going through, so I did a little exploring on my own and found another one that actually taught electrical stuff as well, and that was something else I had been interested in.
Now,
and I've actually done some minor repairs in the house, and then I decided, well, if the Massachusetts journeyman electrician license actually does cover fire alarm work, and since I need a license to do any type of wiring, I might as well be able to do it all.
So now, what are the responsibilities of a fire alarm specialist like yourself and a journeyman electrician? What are the responsibilities that they have?
Well, as far as the fire alarm systems are concerned, there are two different aspects of the trade there. You have installation, and then you have service. The company I work for full-time concentrates mostly on installations. However, they still do service from time to time, just not to the extent that they used to. They used to actually have a subdivision that did all kinds of service work, and the person in the company who headed up that division retired, so they've closed down their service division. They don't really have a lot of it now. they've consolidated the name into the main company name itself, and they don't really do it as much as they used to.
Okay.
So, and then
now for the
back in 2013,
mm-hmm.
I also was able to partner with a wholesale monitoring operation, so I was able to offer that to clients as well. And where the company I work for full time doesn't offer that service, they have authorized me to do that directly with them, with clients as well, so that since that's a service that they don't offer, there's no conflict of interest.
Now, okay, so you have to, what are the national test exams and qualifications you need to take in order to be a fire alarm system specialist, a licensed electrician, and what steps do you need to take to get there, to be able to obtain that certification?
That varies from state to state. In Massachusetts, Massachusetts does not recognize NICET for any type of licensing purposes.
And for anybody that doesn't know, NICET is NICET, National Institution for Certification in Engineering Technologies.
Yep, that's one of the big names for licensing, and there are some states that require that type of certification for any type of fire alarm technician to become a fire alarm technician. Massachusetts is not one of them. All that's required in Massachusetts is that you either hold either a system technician or a journeyman electrician's license.
Okay. Now, before we wrap up, I always love to ask these questions. In all of your years of doing this line of work, what is the biggest fail or something that's happened that was so not called for that you remember?
Well, that's quite a long list. Where should I begin?
Just give me one that comes to mind.
Well, the biggest one that always comes to mind that I can think of is one that I actually had previously mentioned in some of our conversations. It's not fire alarm related, it's actually electrical.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Sure.
I was doing some remodeling work in a building's tenant space for a new tenant that was going to be moving into the building. And while moving some fluorescent lights around in the ceiling, I discovered an open splice of 4 pieces of Romex cable, and just out in the open.
So guys, Romex cable is basically what Romex is. It's wires that connect to your outlets. So if I were to take a regular outlet, these wires are Romex. So
it's a non-metallic sheath cable. That's what it is.
Yep.
It's a plastic coated cable that's typically used in a residential setting.
Yes.
And anyway, there were 4 pieces of that all spliced together in a circuit. One of them going into 4 of them. There were 3. One of them was the source, and the other 3 were all branching out to lights.
Okay.
One of the light that one of them was going into had no clamp around the cable to secure it to the light itself, but it was insulated with a piece of condensate pump tubing.
Wait, what? Are you? Oh my! All right, whoa! All right, that's a fail.
They Mickey Moused a piece of condensate pump tubing around the cable to serve as a makeshift bushing.
Oh my God! All right, that's a fail.
Only goes to show, no matter how long you've been in this trade, and I've been in it for 26 years, going on 27, that you can never say that you have seen everything.
That's it. All right, Larry, so before we wrap up, do you have any questions for me?
Yep. What prompted you to get into the electrical and fire alarm trades?
All right, so real quickly, so the electrical portion, I was actually at my uncle's house one day, and my cousin is a contractor, and he was doing the outside veneer wall, and there were 2 single gang boxes with 12-2 in them. And he's like, okay, I have to wire the outlets now. I'm like, all right, can I help you? He's like, yeah, sure. You do this one, I'll do that one. I'm like, okay. So as I wired it, and I already had experience wiring receptacles, but as I was doing it, I got to learn how the ins and outs work with circuits And I also learned how to tap the wire into a junction box and how to feed everything. So that really gained my interest. So then I went home and I looked up basic circuits of electrical. Like I first started with residential. And I learned how light switches work and how opening and closing contacts work. And that really sparked my interest as well. Now, the fire alarm portion, like you said before, when you were in third grade, you had that fear of the anticipation of when the alarm was going to go off. Well, I had the exact same thing, and I still have it to this day, but it has gotten better over the years. My fear started in kindergarten, and it's been hard to deal with, but ever since then, I think as I've become more mature, I've learned to deal with that fear and learn that it's not going to do any harm. It's just a quick startle.
Yep, well, expanding a little bit on my experience with them there, it kind of started in the third grade. My first 5 years elementary school, all those systems had AC horns, which are very powerful.
Yep, and for those of you who don't know, AC horns, AC stands for alternating current, and AC horns do not sound pleasant. They are very, very loud, and if you don't have ear protection on, you'll be sorry, but I can understand why you were scared.
And then fast forward to my the summer between my 5th and 6th grades at that school there, they had replaced that system with a Firelight DC system. I'm not sure of the model number because it was one of the first ones they came up with. It's one of the last models that they used that actually had incandescent bulbs. The sounding devices were these pyramid-shaped lights that stuck off the wall and had horns on the bottom of them. And those were DC devices. And then later on, they also tied in that system to the PA system in the school, so that way anytime there was an alarm, not only did those sound, but it also sounded a siren over the PA system.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Fast forward to intermediate school years, that system had another simplex system with AC horns, and they had their flashing light plates as well. The summer between my 8th grade and my freshman year's 9th grade, they had replaced that system with what is presumed to be an FCI FC72 system, because that was Plymouth's fire department's preferred model for each operation, and it had a match time card in it.
Nice.
So, and that used the Space Age horn and light units there, which are rebranded versions of the Federal Vibratones.
Yeah, they're very loud.
They'll put a siren on those PA systems as well. Fast forward to high school, that was another AC system from 1963 when the school was built.
Jesus. Well, you and I have both had these experiences, so on that note, Larry...
Now go figure, I work with these systems for a living.
And so do I. I'm now in the field, so I'm very happy. As of December of 2019, I entered the fire alarm industry, and I'm very happy about that. So, on that note, I want to thank you so much for your time today doing this podcast. It really means a lot. And
My pleasure.
I really hope everyone watching this enjoys it. So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay safe during this quarantine, and I hope to talk to you guys soon.